Hi, I'm Selina.
And I'm Bel, and together
We are the Fashion Suite podcast.
Let's discover how to make fashion fun, easy, and sustainable.
So you can look great and even feel better about your style choices. Hello, fashionistas! Your favorite fashion besties, Bel and Selina, are back with our very last episode of this season. But don't be sad, this won't be our last because season 2 is coming up. And before we start, I'd love to introduce my favorite co-host, Bel.
Hello, Selina. Hi, my dear fashionistas. I'm very happy to be here today. All I want to say is thank you for our listeners for being there, tuning in, sharing your thoughts, and making this journey so meaningful. It has been a season full of eye-opening discussions, no? Inspiring chats, and so many incredible guests too. So can't be more happy.
Yes, me too. I love that we talked about so many different topics like fast fashion, ultra fast fashion, materials, one of my favorite topics, about sizing. How can it be that we go into one store and have three different sizes? And we had incredible guests. We gave you like a guide how to shop for Black Friday, how to survive the Christmas jungle, and everything with special twists. And as you said, amazing guests. I'm really grateful for them again. And what would be not the best topic for like the ending of season 1 than the future of fashion?
I love it.
Yes, me too. And I'm already getting excited. Belle knows that because I really love about new trends, technology, and everything. But I think, and what I also experienced most in my store is people nowadays want to have more knowledge and transparency about materials, how clothing is made, and where is it made. So I definitely can see a change with it that. And I also would say this is like a trend which will go more forward. What do you think, Belle?
Yes, absolutely. I have writing my thesis now in university. I have read studies and research, and there is a rise actually in slow fashion, ethical production, because us customers are demanding more from brands. We are having more information. Although it's a long journey to go, and we have been talking very deep about this in the season, there's actually a trend also going back to local businesses, like valuing the real worth of local shops.
Yes.
I think also after the pandemic, the COVID pandemic, there has been more consciousness about slowing down, and it's also reflected on fashion. So I think it's very important. It's very inspiring. There's also the rise of new materials, new technologies in materials. So I think everything is linked into a more sustainable future. Although there's a long journey ahead,
Yes.
the future looks exciting in that way. And I think it's all thanks to us. Like we have to keep it up. Although I also think governments and like bigger systems have to change in order to really change the industry to make like
a huge
a huge change, like a real change. I think it already started with the customer side, which is the most important, no? The demand.
Yeah.
So we are in a good direction, but we have to really keep it up. But it's inspiring. I like that this is a trend already.
Yes, and what I also can see is like the real craftsmanship and like higher quality.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I don't have the really like the real feeling that something has changed with the customers. Of course, I see like a slowly a change or like they more have interest in materials and everything. But what I also see more is people getting more conscious about highly produced things. And I think we can say this within fashion or like with food, or there are several industries which are connected to each other.
Yeah.
But this is something I can really tell is like people are willing also to pay more and wait for something and like really invest in something more high quality instead of just getting, doesn't matter if it's food or clothing, like all the time something new. So this is something I really like as well. And you can see this trend in fashion.
Yes. And as I said, we have to keep it up and have information. Because as I said in the beginning of the season, information is power. And it's also related to our health, you know, wearing quality materials, supporting locals, good fair working conditions. There's a whole world that we will be benefit of it, including ourselves.
Yes.
So it can be better.
No, and therefore also have to mention, of course, we are looking ahead towards new technologies and digitalization.
Mm,
So, of course, there's a lot of research is going to be done for new materials which are more healthy for us, or maybe some health tracking materials now, or like heating
mm,
materials. There are a lot of like research about new materials. Of course, my preference is always go natural and be part of like a circular economy and a circular
mm,
fashion. Like what comes from nature goes back to nature. But I'm really excited about what is going to happen in future.
mm. Yes, I think there's a whole discussion behind that, like the lab-made materials or the new vegan natural materials, which are not natural because
Course.
it has plastic
Yeah,
fibers,
actually, yeah,
synthetic fibers. But why not give a chance to science? Because we really don't know what they are
of course.
capable of
And you
doing.
always have to think like the standards with what we have now
Mm,
will be the lowest we will
mm.
ever have in future.
Yeah.
So of course, maybe now the vegan leather is still mostly just plastic, either it's like a mushroom leather or apple leather, it's still plastic, like to up to 90-95%.
Mhm.
But to be fair, this standard will be the lowest which will ever be. So we have to wait and sit down and see what technology is bringing to us.
Yes, also AI. This last
Yes.
year, I have experienced in my own life a huge change in a positive way thanks
Hmm.
to AI. I use it a lot for my studies, for my work, even for social media. I try to use it to save time and even to think better, no? To understand,
Hmm.
like it really changed my life. And I'm very excited what this can do for fashion because I know that all these technologies are to make our life easier and better, hopefully. No, is what we all want. And I am very much looking forward to what can do for fashion. For example, my biggest dream,
Hmm.
like part of my, I hope this gets solved, is like I really want the computer, the machine, I don't know, something to know my measurements, but my real measurements, how much I weigh, my arm length, like literally everything. So I don't have to buy
But this
multiple
is
sizes, for example. Or
But this is
like,
something where I can link in. I know
mhm,
exactly the struggles you have. And
okay.
as my some people might know, I lived in Japan because I
Mhm,
did like my exchange semester there. And as since then I was studying e-commerce and I did my thesis on comparing Japanese and Austrian online stores. So of course I did a lot of research about fashion industry in Japan. And what I've experienced there as a brand, I'm not sure actually which one was it exactly, but there could order like a bodysuit, which has like all like some tapes, measurements, and cables inside it. So
mhm.
the bodysuit in front of the app from the store would take your measurements and would recommend you afterwards what fits your body, what is your measurement, what is the size there in the store, or do you have this size and this model or in that model.
Okay,
To
wow.
be fair, it was not as easy to get this one. I only have heard about friends, like Japanese friends, that told me about this. But
Why not
at
easy?
this,
It was not available in the store
no, it
or
was not really available and it was not working perfectly, to be fair.
okay.
But as I said before, this is already a few years ago. And this is like the lowest standard we will experience. So,
Yes.
especially with technology and digitalization, we will only get better. And
Hmm.
I'm sure we will have maybe not a bodysuit in a few years. Maybe we can stand in front of the app because I know some brands, they're working together and they're doing a lot of research how to deal with this because this is a
Yeah.
problem we all experienced,
Yes.
not just the customers but also the companies, because the companies don't want to offer you different sizes. They want to feel comfortable and that everybody fits
And
and everything.
it's also a waste of time for the
Yes,
customer, for the brands, the exchanges, receiving them back,
of
besides all the
course.
transportation costs, the packaging.
Yes.
So it's gonna be easier for all of us.
Yes, definitely. So I think we will experience something there tremendously. So there is going to be an exchange. I mean, we already experienced like some apps with AI where you can try on clothing or sunglasses like digital. So you can sit in front of the app and then you can try it on.
Just imagine, Sally, an app that uses data from your closet. Like the app is
Ooh,
your closet, your real
yes.
closet, and
Mm-hmm.
suggests you new outfits. Like,
I
okay,
like it.
the work of the stylist, I think, is done. Like, I cannot work as an
But
stylist
imagine
anymore.
this.
But imagine this. Just imagine this and say, okay, I today I am in Vienna. It's a sunny day, 20 degrees. I would like to wear my red skirt, but please help me with the looks. And it suggests you with your own clothing
Imagine it would be
outfits
linked with the weather automatically and would like suggest you and recommend you what to wear
already.
today.
Like, good morning,
And you
Belle.
like,
What would you
oh,
like to
I'm in a
wear
comfy
today?
mood, or I want to be sexy, or I have an event, and it's just like bim bim bim, and then you get all the clothing.
It's amazing. I mean,
Can we talk about this later? Because I really liked it. So, guys, as you can see, we are really excited about the future of what will be.
yeah, we have a new project to work on.
Yes. Maybe we need a coffee date again.
Yes.
So, as you can see, we're really excited about technology and about everything, but we will talk about this later and keep going with what we want to talk about because AI is just one thing.
Hmm.
And like trying on things digital is one way, but also think about VR and then we're talking about like digitalization, like metaverse and so many more things to go. Of course, metaverse and like a lot of best, especially big brands investing a lot of money. And honestly, I also digged in this topic a few years ago. I was COVID back then.
What do you think about this? These virtual spaces, virtual experiences? I really honestly don't get it. I want to be completely honest. I don't know
You have,
how can you enjoy this? You know what I mean?
to be fair, I know this sounds weird nowadays, but now we have like a separate digital life and a separate offline life, like the
Mm-hmm.
real life and the online life. But think ahead a few years. Also, like think about years back before. If somebody have told you like in the 90s you will date some people online, they would laugh. Nobody would have believed you. Also, honest, this was the status
Yes.
quo, yes?
Yes, you're
And
right.
now think about like 10, 15 years, like the generation
Mm-hmm.
who are now growing up. They grow up together with technology. They are used to like TikTok, Instagram, all this online because you have like an online personality and the offline. But in few years, it will merge. So you're going to be one person, but you will be like digital. You might have like business meeting digital, and you will sit there with an avatar, like in the game. And
Mm-hmm.
now think about if a business meeting with somebody like maybe from Asia, from the US, Europe, everywhere around the world, you can sit together and have like a conversation, like act how you would act. So you make it more personal. And also about, and then talking about you have like an avatar maybe there. I don't know exactly how the future will be, but what I definitely see, we will have like a merge between offline and online. So we will become one person, but we will have a of like an online personality. Therefore, we need like, and there's also like especially metaverse, as I said, like I had time due to COVID. You can buy properties, and honestly, they're not cheap. We're talking about like $1 million for one property. And then like an online game, to be fair. And of course, brands are buying like stores where you can enter a store like a Nike store or Adidas store or something like this, or an art gallery. And there you can also buy things. So of course, like especially all those brands, they are already doing collections for those avatars you can already buy. Of course, now we can dig into like NFTs and everything, and this I think will explode the topic. But just have in mind, we will also have like a more digital version in future, and we will also buy clothing online in a digital world because we will be one person together, like online and offline. It won't be that separated. Because think about when I was born, I didn't have a phone.
Yeah.
I got my first phone when I was like 8 years old, and I was one of the first in my class, to be fair. So just think,
Yeah,
we,
everything have changed already since we were
yes,
born. So
exactly.
things are gonna change even more, to be
Yes.
honest.
And
Yeah.
still talking about like fashion and technology. So we also have 3D printed clothing already.
Yeah.
And I think it was Iris van Herpen. Hopefully I said her name right. She was the first one who did like a whole collection. And I think it was 2008 when she showed it on the Paris Fashion Week.
Uh-huh.
So she was just made clothing out of a 3D printer. Of course, it was very experimental, but it looked good. I actually really liked it. It was a bit more futuristic, and it looked a bit like maybe some
More abstract, no?
abstract, like a wrap dress, for example.
Okay.
And those wraps will be printed. Of course, it won't be like comfortable, but it will look nice. And
It's hard.
yes,
Fashion
but
sometimes is hard,
yes, of
or
course,
always.
yes. But think about this was like 2008, I think, to be honest. And now we have all the sports brands already printing like shoes. So
Yes.
some sneakers we are buying, there are not even, there was one person there. So they are just like printed nowadays. So we are
Yes,
already
amazing.
there. And it's
Yes,
like 10
we're
years, a bit more than 10 years. But think about what else will be done by this. And of course, new materials, as we said before, might be used for that. And I think there's a lot of going towards that.
Now, the future looks very exciting.
Yes.
And everything goes also in this way now with technology and innovations to make it more
Yes.
sustainable,
Yeah.
like more environmentally friendly, new materials, printing. Although there's a whole
Mm,
discussion behind that because it's like, okay, you remove some work from people. No, there's also this discussion with the technology.
yeah.
But I think that all these innovations are also to make our life easier and everything
Mm.
will evolve with
And we
time.
will, yeah, think like we generate new jobs. This is something we also can see, and it was always like this. So new innovations were coming, and people were afraid. Like we're talking about, like the technology revolution, at the industrial revolution.
Hmm.
So people were afraid about losing jobs. So we still have people working there, but maybe not this work. But on the same hand, because back in the days, we would travel around the world. It something special. We would experience different stores, like in Italy, like in Argentina, in Austria, whenever.
Hmm.
But nowadays, all the big brands are there as well. So what we have talked about before, buying locally, or what also brands see, they have to do more personalization. So you might get like the same T-shirt, for example, from a big brand, nevertheless, where you are around the world. But maybe the personalization is somewhere different to make it like the touch. And
Yes.
therefore, we need those people again who has the expertise to do something like this.
This is another big trend coming,
Yeah.
the personalized experiences and products. We have seen a lot already, the premium brands that they write the initials in your luxury handbag, for example, or in your
Mm-hmm.
wallet, or they bring me sometimes artists to the shop and they literally paint
Yes.
very nicely a special design or your initials. So this is also a trend. And it comes with everything, not to have something special, good quality that is yours.
Yes, exactly. And I experienced the same thing what you have said in Milan during the fashion week. So I was
Mm-hmm.
walking around the city, walking into some stores, and there were a red carpet in front of it. And inside there were some artists, like painting maybe the brand name or your name, or they did something special for you. So as what you just said, I've experienced Milan during Fashion Week. And I think also like the personalized shopping experience, what you said, that we're
Mm.
going back maybe getting more like the shop assistant as an advisor who's helping you and everything.
Yes.
Or, oh, I've put together like a small collection for you, even like online or offline, but just having a more like an experience.
Yes, absolutely. When I want to invest on an item, when I
Yeah.
will spend money on it, it should be with everything, I know, but it's not the same buying a nice coat than a basic t-shirt, okay? Also with the jeans, when I go to buy jeans, I invest in a good brand and I want to be there. They take my measurements. I say, okay, I would like this a little bit more lower or this, like, I can spend 1 hour in the shop trying because I know I will keep it for the next 5, 6, 7 years and I want to
Mm,
really suit me. I really want a nice experience. Or when I
yeah.
want to invest in a good coat, or okay, I want to see options. What do you recommend me? I want, like, we deserve it as well. It's part of
Mm,
the experience to enjoy, at least in
yeah.
my side. I don't know. What do you think, Celia, about it?
Definitely. To be fair, because of course I have a store and this
Yeah.
is what I do with my customers. Because even like sometimes, like in summer, I only have dress, like only. I have like
Mm.
dresses and blouses and trousers. And people like, it's so nice with you, the experience, because like I know the pieces I have in my store and I see the person and I'm like recommend things to this person. So of course I also have the same demand when I go shopping. If I see like just like sales assistant chatting or if I want to try on shoes and I ask if I can have the size because they're not there
Mm.
and they're not really helping, I'm like, okay, I'm leaving because this is not there. We don't talk about how much or something. It's like because I'm used to it and I love it. This is also why I also get exhausted with big stores, to be fair. So we
Mm.
have also like big brands or like multiple brand
I
stores.
really can't go there. I feel so
No,
overwhelmed with the
it's
music, the lights, the amount
yes,
of clothing.
yes,
When
I
you
can.
ask for
No,
someone, sorry, do you have something like this? It's like
no,
you are
yeah,
bothering them,
yeah,
And it's like, okay, no. And I have to
no,
pay you. No.
no, yes. But not honestly, this is exhausting for me. I prefer having like smaller stores, see
Yeah.
what they have, because you can find even like for a good value for money, let's say it like this, nice pieces.
And you will
And
find better pieces that you were
yes,
thinking of getting.
yes, and like not what everybody's wearing. So
No,
this is something I like as well because if you go somewhere and like five people wearing the same thing, I think it's not the nicest experience.
no.
But yeah, this is something we both have experienced. So definitely more personalization, more the experience about shopping. I think we value this even more in future, and we do now. And what I also can say is what I really love, because we also had like Bobby and Justina as guests with
Mm-hmm.
us. I think it was our third episode, right? About
Mm-hmm.
sizing.
Yeah.
So, but also about like inclusion and diversity.
Mm.
So we try to include people, but as we have talked about in this season, it's not always the easiest, and we're going a bit back again. But I think in general, we see the trend that we want to include like more sizes, more ethnicities.
Gender fluid as well.
Yes. Yes, this is something I really like. Just because like sometimes people asking me, what do you think about this and that? And I said like, well, I want to have diverse people. I don't want to have like the standard model you can see, because sometimes I'm receiving like the model catalogs and I feel like
Mm.
they're all looking the same. Not in a bad way, but they're all skinny, beautiful. But if I go on the street, this is not what I see. I
Exactly.
see different sizes, different ages. You know, it's so much more. And I think we should represent this more because this is us and this is how we live. And I think it's even more beautiful to show this to the customers and to the world, and not like giving a wrong picture of beauty standards or how we should look and
Exactly.
act.
So we can all relate and feel really represented.
Yes.
I think we have reached a point after the 90s, the 2000s. Now we are coming from decades where it was very harsh, the
Hmm?
standards, the demands, no, of
Yeah.
the industry, now with social media as well. I think we are very tired of that. And I have seen also for the first time in fashion, there's a lot of freedom. Like now, if someone says you can't wear red this season, no one will say that. No,
No.
if you pay attention to this, there's not this, maybe yes, burgundy is the color of the season, and okay, you may have an accessory in that color, but no one is prohibiting anything because
No.
it's like it's not an option anymore, you know?
No.
It's not an option anymore. Like, who
No.
are you to
Honestly,
tell me what I can wear, what I can't? Like, or even there are some rules with your
yeah.
body shape, for example, so you look more skinny or tall, and but literally, if you like something and you know how to wear it, it doesn't matter your body shape. It
No.
really, because I
Yeah.
I have seen that in person. So in my opinion, there are no rules. When someone wants to come and tell me a rule, it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is what you think. You know,
Yeah.
like, leave me alone.
This is not what I think. No, of
Exactly.
course, we all have like colors which match us better than the other colors. Of course, we know that. And of course, I can recommend you which
Mhm.
shape looks good on you, or what, like, especially looking good for you doesn't mean you can't wear something else. Yeah.
Exactly.
This is like a difference. And also, what just want to say, I have a friend of mine, and I don't know, she's always collecting books, and I don't know where she gets it from. And she found like an old book, yeah. And there's like a whole section how a woman has to dress due to her. It's a book from I think the 40s, 50s, 60s, something like this. Like an old
Mm-hmm.
book. And was like, at this age, you have to wear this shapes, this colors, this. If you wear this and that, you're not allowed to wear a bikini. You have to wear like a swimming suit. So it was actually written, and this is what women have read back in the
Yes.
days.
Now,
It,
there's also a very famous picture of a man, a
yeah,
policeman, measuring the bodysuit of a woman in the beach. Like, we come from very hard times, and it was not
yeah,
so long ago,
no,
with so many rules for women, so many rules, that now I think we went to the completely other side. I think we are a bit tired of hearing what we should wear, not should wear.
definitely. I totally agree. So I
It
think I
comes.
really love this trend as well, and I love that we are changing,
Hmm,
because I think it's the only way how we have to move forward, and
yeah.
everybody should wear and dress how he or she feels comfortable with. I'm not the person to tell you what you have to like or not.
Exactly.
I can show you what I think would fits you or suits you, but I'm always like, wear whatever you want because you have to feel comfortable and don't be afraid. I'm not saying this or that is right. Everybody who is comfortable with, you
Yes.
know, and
And give
how
it a
he or she
try.
feels. Yes.
Give it a try. And I always ask to my friends or my clients when they ask me, what do you think about this? I love it, how you look on this, but how do you feel wearing
Yeah.
this? I feel very comfortable. Then go for it.
Yeah.
Invest on this.
I always say, the coat, because we're mostly selling coats in winter, the coat shouldn't wear you. You have to wear the coat.
Yes.
You know, you are the person with inside the coat. You have to feel comfortable. You have to feel beautiful. You have to feel warm. You know, this is something you have to feel. And if you feel this in the piece of clothing, go for it. Then it's
Yes.
perfect. I think there are even many more topics where the future of fashion is going to develop, but I think we mentioned the most exciting ones. But
Yes.
please, if you have another idea or comment, or if you see a trend differently, please just leave a comment here or text us on Instagram or write us an email. You can find our email address below, which is office@thefashionsweetpodcast.com, or you can text Bel on Instagram, Bel Romano, or myself, Selina.Simoon, and we will be happy to share your comments and talk with you about it.
Yes, one of the best parts of this podcast has been hearing from you, our listeners, our
Yes.
fashionistas.
And honestly, even on Instagram, I
Yeah,
didn't expect so many people like reaching out or talking about it.
yes.
Honestly, this was like the biggest gift I could say. As we have said in the first episode, this started like out of a live and people were commenting, hey,
Hmm.
why don't you have a podcast? We're like, why not? So,
Sally, we
yeah,
made it. We opened up our talks in fashion. People
yes,
are
I
joining
loved it.
us. And we are very, very much looking forward to the second season. And also write us, what would you like to know about fashion? Because I have also received messages like, oh, what do you talk about this, about that? So we are literally making notes on what
Yeah,
to talk in the next season. So please, we are all ears.
yes,
And thank you.
yes.
Thank you, thank you,
Thank you for
thank you.
everything. Yes. For your trust, for your listenings, and for your comments and your warm-hearted talks. And I love that you are talking with us. So stay tuned for season 2 because it's coming up.
It's
And I
coming.
honestly, yes, I can't wait.
Thank you so much. Until next time. Mwah.
See you. Bye bye.